the user finds a key, and then there's a path to the east that goes to a waterfall. So let's run our program and let's see where we are. You find yourself in a clearing. Let's take a look at the tree. The tree is massive and has a knot at eye level. So let's look at the knot. Okay, if I twist it, I can take the knot out. So if I twist the knot, I twist it and it comes free, showing a cavity in the tree. You look in and you see a golden key. Now, oh, okay, well, that's a problem. Okay, so you twist the knot and it comes free, showing a cavity in the tree. You look in and you see a golden key. Now, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to ask the user to take the key, and we want to handle the cases where the user takes the key and the case where the user goes back. But we don't have anything that handles a case where the user puts in something else. And so that's what happened just there, is I accidentally pressed the enter key, and instead of saying, well, what do you want to do, it just exited out of the program, which isn't a really good user experience. So what we need here is an else statement, and you should try to have else statements with all of your if, else, if chains that does something. And so in this case, else, let's see, we probably just want to go back to the clearing, okay, and take care of that situation. All right, well, I'm going to run it again. I know that if I twist the knot in the tree, it's going to work. All right, I twist the knot and it comes free, showing a cavity in the tree. You look in and you see a golden key. Now, if I take the key, okay, I take the key and I put it in my pocket. And again, I find myself in the clearing. Now, probably we need something for that key to go to. And the logical thing here is for the key to open up the house. And so that's what I want to try to flesh out in this tutorial. So we have the key. If we go to, or actually let's look at the house. It says the house looks like it hasn't been occupied for some time. Let's go to the house. Okay, and it exited because what it did when we said to go to the house, it called the house function right here. And we created the house function, but we haven't yet put anything into it. So let's do that. Let's put something in the house function. Okay, so we're going to start by prompting the user, and we can use our u variable again because we're in a new function. And so this u variable doesn't mean anything outside of this function. And we're going to prompt the user. You walk up to the house and you see that it is in disrepair. It doesn't look like anyone has been here for some time. And then we want to handle what comes from this prompt. Well, the first thing that we want to do is we want to take u and set it equal to u dot to lowercase. And what that's going to do is take all of the text that's put into the prompt box and turn it to lowercase. And then we want to start looking through u. And so we want to take a look at that door, right? So we're walking up to the house and then we're prompting. And let's see what happens if the user looks at the house. Okay? So if u dot includes the word look, then we want to do something. Now, within this if statement, we want to take care of any looks that we want to do, anything we want to see. And so the first thing we want is if the user says, look at the house, right? We want to take care of that. So if u dot includes house, we want to gently kind of push our user towards taking a look at the door, because the door is the thing that's really of interest here. So let's alert the shrubbery around the door is overgrown. And the door and the windows on the door are covered in dust. Okay, now we want to take care of a couple of other issues. Now first, when we do this alert, we want to make sure that it's not going to kick us out of the program. So we want to call the house function again. And this time, we want to do something a little bit different. So in this case, it would be a little bit weird for us to say the shrubbery around the door is overgrown, the windows on the door are covered in dust, and then prompt the user with, you walk up to the house and see that it's in disrepair. And so maybe we can do this a little bit more elegantly. Well, what we can do here is we can set a variable. So let's set a variable for the first time that we go into this house. And so let's, we actually would have to set that variable outside of this function. So we can set var first house is equal to false, or sorry, is equal to true. And then we can take a look at this variable the first time that, every time we go through into the house function, we can say if first house, so if first house is equal to true, let's just make it explicit here. If first house is equal to true, you walk up to the house and you see that it's in disrepair. It doesn't look like anyone's been here for a long time. Else, let's var u equals prompt you stand on the doorstep of the house. What do you want to do? So that makes a little bit more sense after we take a look at the shrubbery and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if that actually works. So we're going to run this. You find yourself in a clearing. There's a house here. Okay, so we're going to go to the house. Now, first time we go through, you walk up to the house and you see that it's in disrepair. It doesn't look like anyone's been here for some time. We want to look at the house. The shrubbery around the door is overgrown and the windows on the door are covered in dust. Now what's going to happen here after we look at the house is we're going to call this house function again, and if we did this correctly, we're going to get a different prompt. We're going to get, you stand on the doorstep of the house. Now we didn't. So what's going on here? Well, we made a mistake. After we prompt for the first time, we actually have to change this first house variable. So first house is equal to true, and after we've walked up to the house the first time, we want to say first house is equal to false. Now let's run that again. Okay? Go to house. Nope, can't go there. Go to house. I have to spell house correctly. And now we want to look at the house. And shrubbery around the door is overgrown and the windows on the door are covered in dust. And then we are, when we run house again, we get our new house description. You stand on the doorstep of the house. What do you want to do? Excellent. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we want to handle here. First, we want to continue with our look function. So we've looked at the house. So let's also look at the shrubbery. We do that by u includes shrubbery. Now we can also check for variance, so we can say u dot includes shrubs, and then we can alert They're overgrown, but they don't look very interesting. And then we go back to house. And then we want to take a look at the door. So else if u dot includes door, we can alert it's made of oak. It looks heavy. It's also locked. Okay, and then we go back to house. All right, now we've taken a look, we've done our looks. Now we want to take care of our go statements. Actually, no, we need one extra thing here. Now, we've looked at all of these different things. Now, we want to take care of the situation where we're looking and we're not looking at anything that can really be looked at. And so we need an else statement here. And we need to alert, I don't know what you want to look at. Try again. Okay, so we need to do a little bit of error handling there. All right, so now we want, we're back out to this scope here. So we've done our look statements. Now we need an else if. And so we're going to do an else if u dot includes go, and we're going to handle a couple of go statements. So the first go statement that we want to include, that we want to handle, is if u dot includes back, or if u dot includes clearing. Okay, so we want to handle the situation where the user wants to leave the doorstep of the house and go back to the clearing. And then we just put clearing, and the user will be able to go back into the clearing and do whatever they want to do there. Also, when we have our alert here, I don't know what you want to look at, we have to take a look at the house again. Okay. And then we also want to take care of the situation else if u dot includes inside. All right, so now if the user says something like go inside the house or go inside, we want to deal with that situation. Well, the problem right now is that the door is locked. Okay, so we need to check something here. We basically need to check, is the door still locked? And so we're going to create a variable. We're going to create var door locked, and we're going to set it to true. And remember, we do it outside of our the functions that we're running because we want this variable to be stable. We don't want it to change to be reset every time we run the function. Okay? So now we're keeping track of whether the door is locked. So if the user says go inside, then we want to check if door locked is equal to true. We want to alert you can't go inside. The door is locked. And then we want to describe the house again and give the user another prompt box. Okay? So if the door locked is equal to true, alert you can't go inside, the door is locked. Else, now there will probably become a situation where the door is unlocked. We want to alert you go inside the house. And then we want to probably start a new function for the room inside the house. And so let's call it inside the house. Actually, let's just do inside house. And you see that I've already set up that function down here for you, inside house. And once we get through this section, for your assignment, you're going to flesh out these two scenes, waterfall and inside house, and create a scenario in that scene sort of like we've been doing in these tutorials.